welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. You can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Ah, I'm currently just drinking up some water because hydration is important. That's all I got. And I do have my cup mug, so that's important too. Ew, 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 ew. Panel full of cup mugs.
and
Panel
a
full
duck.
of cup mugs. Panel full of cup mugs. Panel full of cup mugs. Ew.
And a duck.
And a duck. Sure. And
What's wrong with my duck, Lana?
I don't give a duck about your duck.
Duck you, Lana.
And right back at you. Anyway, you can get your cup mug minus the duck at lanajuscreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses. Get your cup merch, period.
Ooh, and I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay. I am drinking some coffee. Some
Yeah.
coffee. Out of my beautiful Saguaro National Park mug. It's beautiful. It's orange. It's very lovely. I was like, National Park, because the scenery of this damn show looks like we're in a national park at all times. And we went to a damn glacier in this episode. So sure. I'm drinking some white chocolate coffee.
Now, I don't know what the glacier had to do with your cup, but okay.
I'm thinking glacier, nature, national park. Like I that's the route I went. You know.
Sort of a stretch, but okay.
I
Gotcha.
also just picked this mug this morning and tried to make it work. So you didn't have to call me out on that, Lana, but you did.
I did, and I'll do it again because I'm the
I knew it. Well, no,
millionaire.
currently it's Phil, and he ain't doing that great of a job.
I mean, anyway, before we dive into it, we got a lot to say before we jump right into what we're here to talk about. Because, yeah, we're here at the Cup TV. We are trying to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So we need your help. So if you would just do us a solid and hit the subscribe button, that would be great. If this is your first time watching and checking us out, hi, hey, how you doing? Welcome. But subscribe to this channel and you should subscribe to all of our channels because all of our channels are on the same mission. We're all trying to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So we would appreciate your help. So click on the subscribe button here, go to our description and click on the link tree and click on all of our links for all of our other channels. If you're a fan of drag or drag race, if you are a fan of Eurovision Song Contest, or if you're a fan of WWE Wrestling, we have channels for you. So check all of that out. Um, Follow, 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 subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. We appreciate you. Also, if you need to check us out on the go, we have our audio podcast links are down in the description below. And so you can check us out on your way to school, on the church, on the work, or wherever you got to go, at the gym, in a meeting, wherever you need to be entertained, in the plane, in the
Flying in a
train.
helicopter, going to a glacier,
Sure.
on a
All of those
boat,
places. On a boat, anywhere.
pouring whiskey.
All of those things. So follow us on that, and you can check us out on the go. Our audio podcast links are in the description below, as well as our Patreon. You can join our Patreon to find out all the fun things we do behind the scenes, and when we're not talking about $1 Million Secret or any other competitive reality show, or drag race or Eurovision or wrestling, we got fun things in our Patreon. So go join our Patreon as well. Now, Logan, let's get into it because you mentioned that Philip is our millionaire as of right now. And you know what?
Indeed.
You said he's not doing a good job. I think he is doing a decent job for the hand that he has been dealt. That even though he
I
dealt it
agree.
himself, even though he dealt a little bit of it himself, he could have avoided all of this if he would have just voted out Lauren, like, voted out Sydney instead of Lauren. But now
Yeah.
he has to play damage control this
Yep.
episode to try to keep himself from getting eliminated. Um, so we start off and he's feeling the pressure. He's feeling it.
Yes.
He felt it. He's just like, oh, this is a lot. I messed up. I know I did. Now I got to fix it. And he gets his agenda really early on.
But before we get the agenda, Lana, we get a lovely slow mo swimsuit montage.
I blocked that out of my brain.
But we got to see Philip and Kyle shirtless. And Corey for that matter. I gotta say. And I,
Mhm.
for one, want to say thank you to Million Dollar Secret for allowing that to happen. And in this set of episodes, we got to see shirtless Kyle again. And I just want to say thank you to Million Dollar Secret.
Mm-hmm.
They know what
Great.
people are after, and sometimes it's shirtless Kyle
Apparently.
for some people.
Apparently.
By
For
some
some
people, I
people.
mean myself,
Right.
and shirtless Phil for that matter.
Sure.
But yes, this secret agenda.
This agenda, I think, was interesting, but not
Yes,
impossible.
no,
His agenda is to make two people scream.
yeah,
And so at first he's like, how do I do that? How do I just make people scream? What do I do? And I was wondering how he was going to pull that off myself because I'm like, how do you just make people scream for no reason? But he was going to make it happen.
uh-huh.
Hmm. Um,
He and we'll talk about it, but he did a good job starting with chipping his tooth on a piece of bread.
yeah, he was a little upset about that. But then he said something that I don't think anybody caught. But I was like, y'all didn't catch that because he chipped his tooth, and then he says, "This is not part of my agenda." And I was like, y'all hear that?
Sir,
Did you just say that? I was like, in my notes
sir,
I wrote WTF? Like, what?
sir.
But nobody said anything about that. And I was like,
Mm, all
oh,
right.
okay.
Okay.
I don't- Nobody said anything. And he's a little sad about that. I was like, okay. I mean, I'd be sad if I chipped a tooth on television too. I'd be like, God dang it, I'm
Yep.
chipping my tooth. But nobody caught that. And I was very
No.
surprised by that. I was
No.
very surprised by that. Um,
Because I
Anything
guess there
else
was
happened
just
at
so much
breakfast?
there. No, I was just going to comment on that because I guess there was just so much happening at that breakfast. Like everyone was having so many other conversations that I guess just no one heard it. And I guess good on Phil for get flying under the radar the way he did there. But no, I had nothing else. We just go straight to this episode was very just cut and dry
Oh,
the way they did this, which I
yeah.
appreciated. We got to have a couple of those, so sure.
Yeah, I didn't mind this. We
Um,
go to the challenge.
because we had to spend a lot of time on this challenge,
Oh, it
which
was a lot of time that was needed on
this
this
was my
challenge.
favorite of the six activities we've had so far. This is my favorite so far. I loved this challenge.
I love that
This
Peter was just sitting there. He was like, I have been asking for a drink. I've been so thirsty.
and he
And
has
nobody, and he had every episode, he was like, I need a drink. Someone get me a drink. Anybody get me a drink. And nobody
get
brings him a
this
drink.
man a drink.
Get him a drink. He's thirsty. He's parched and he's
Truly,
thirsty.
truly,
And so he was like, since nobody will bring me a drink, I'm going to make you bring me a drink.
yes.
And so he splits the players into three teams of three.
Yeah,
And team A is Sydney, Phil, and Kyle, which is
strong
interesting
team.
because Sydney and Phil are in the line of questioning of which one of them these could be the millionaire.
And Kyle's like, oh shit.
He's like, he's like, but this is the way to keep my eye on them too and
Yes.
see what is what. And so team B was Jamie, Chris, and Sam.
Hmm.
And then team C was Lydia, Cara, and Corey.
Yes.
Now, two people had to go to the distillery
Yeah.
and get the open, do a puzzle, and then
Sudoku.
Sudoku puzzle, which I
I love that
hate.
it's trademarked and they couldn't say it.
They couldn't say Sudoku, but they were like a number puzzle.
A number puzzle. I guess it wasn't true Sudoku because it wasn't nine, it was sixes. They
Yeah.
maxed at six. So
I mean, it was a version of Sudoku, a
yeah.
mini version of
I don't know if
Sudoku.
there's a specific name for it, but whatever. Um
And so they give them this, they have to fill out the number puzzle. And then once they fill out the number puzzle, three of the numbers will be what barrel of whiskey you had to go to get your specific whiskey out of the barrels into the glass. And then once you have that filled up, you go back to and you call the other three people who will whisk away on a helicopter to a glacier
Glacier.
to get the right ice from a specific place. And you had to fill up your ice bucket and bring it back. And I was like, "Oh, it's a certain specific ice that you want, Peter." Okay.
All right then.
Oh, okay.
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 All right then.
So so we start the mission, well, we start the challenge, and we see Kyle and Philip figure out the puzzle pretty quickly. Kyle is like, I'm good at these. This is what I do. So they fill out the puzzle really quickly and get their number for their barrel of whiskey. And they run inside to find it, but they can't find their barrel right away. So then Jamie and Chris fills out their puzzle shortly after uh, Kyle and Phil. And then Lydia and Clara was struggling a little bit, but they figured it out. And they come in third, but they find their whiskey
Fine.
barrel first.
Work.
Work. And I was like, ooh, here we go. And so then they find theirs first, and then Jamie and Chris find theirs, and then Phil and Kyle find theirs. So now they have to cipher the whiskey out with this straw thing and fill it and put it into the whiskey bottle. And so they're
Yeah.
just doing that, doing that, doing that. And everybody's getting a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. And Kyle breaks
Of
the
all the
code.
people, of all the people, it's Mr. Louisiana himself, Kyle, that goes, nah, I'm just gonna suck this up with my mouth. And I'm like, yep,
Yeah,
that
absolutely would
tracks.
have.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way. I would have did that too. I'm like, cause this ain't working. The finger thing that
No.
ain't working. You're only getting this much. It's like, all right, now yeah, baby. He filled that up so fast after he realized I could
And
start
everyone else
sucking
was
this up.
like,
Why did you do
oh.
it so fast? That was wild. I was like,
So
you
they
go,
run
Kyle.
out. So they run out first. Nobody else is even close at this point. They call Sydney. Sydney goes and gets her ice,
Hmm.
and she falls.
Oh
Oh,
my God.
God forbid she
You slip,
falls.
not you slipping on ice. That
And
got to be part of your agenda,
that's
slipping on
gotta be
ice.
part of the agenda, baby.
Because you slipped on some ice?
Corey. Now,
Corey. Now,
Corey.
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 Slipping on
Girl,
snow. Who would
Corey.
you ain't never slipped on no snow, Corey? We all slipped
Corey.
on snow.
I
Come
bruised
on.
my tailbone when I was 18 on black ice, Corey. Like,
Baby, I've fallen in snow so many times just walking home from school. Walking. And snow was just like, oh, it's fall. It's snow, it's ice, it's wet, it's slick. Come
now
on,
I like
bro.
Corey.
I
This was a
do.
little too much.
Corey got on my nerves a little bit. I was like, you aggravate my dots a little bit. Now, and see, here's the thing. I understand trying to figure out every little thing because any
You
little
trying
thing
to
could be a
you
part of
trying
the
to grasp for
agenda.
straws.
You like this could be it, this could be that. But I'm like, she slipped on snow. But okay. Maybe it was her agenda to fall in front of everybody. What? Okay. All right. Okay, Corey. Okay. But that was what he was going with. He was going with she fell and, whatever. But Sydney goes, get her ice, comes back. She on her way back before Sam is even well, while Sam just gets her call to go down to get the ice. That's how much of a lead they had. But she gets back first, Corey gets back second, Sam gets back third. They fly back to where everybody's supposed to meet up again and
Sydney's worried that she
got the
maybe needs
wrong
to get
ice.
49,000-year-old ice, but all of the ice was in increments of 5, so there was no way that that was possible. Her team wins in the most elaborate whiskey pouring ceremony I have ever and of course Sydney's the one to do it because she's the bottle service
She's a
girl.
bottle servicer.
I was like, y'all,
We had
did
look,
she pick to do that or did y'all make her do that?
look, we had Peter swishing the cup around ice.
Right? The camp. The camp of this show is too much. I love it.
Perfect. It's like, what? Come
Perfection. I
on.
love the camp of this. I
It's so
love the camp.
wild.
Peter, Peter, you get your big ones. Peter, you get your big ones. Like, it's so good. It's
It
so
was,
good.
it was good.
Um,
It was
but yeah.
good. They win, everybody's happy, everybody's great. So
Well,
we
not
get
everybody's happy and not
well,
everybody's fine because 2 of the 3 people that could be the millionaire are now in the trophy room and everybody else is shitting brick.
I mean, they can do what they can with what they have. They lost.
Oh,
So,
man.
but they get back to the house, and Phil seems a little down.
Mhm.
And Sam was like, "What's the matter?" He was like, "It's just a lot." He's like, I'm embarrassed to smile. I'm chip my tooth. A lot of this is frustrating. I miss fan home, and so it's just a lot. I just feel like, I just feel like, I feel like I need to scream or something. And Sam was like, if you scream, I'll scream with you. And she was like, because we all need to just let it out sometimes. And Chris and Sydney are like, you will scream too. You need somebody to scream, we because we are all feeling this pressure in this house, and it's a lot. We need to just
Yeah.
scream it out. I said that is the most therapist thing you could do.
Oh, true. Like, honestly, I really like that it does actually seem, and we'll talk about the next billionaire in the other 2 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
coming out soon after this episode comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Go check out our coverage of the other 3 episodes. If you're wondering what this one is, you should go check out you should go check out $1 Million Secret because it's a damn good show. But yeah, no, it seems like all of these are very tailor-made for the person that is the millionaire. And I really like that. I really
Mm-hmm. It was really good because
um
it was such a therapy thing to do.
yeah, but it was very therapeutic. They do it, they scream. Miss Lydia goes, "That's an agenda item." And I said, "Yes, ma'am, clock it." Yes, ma'am. I loved it. I was like, immediately, she's like, "Is that an agenda item?" And then my favorite part of this was they do it again. And
Mm-hmm.
you hear it reverberating through the house to the point that you hear it in Kyle's
Kyle's confession.
confessional.
He like,
He's just like,
what the heck is
huh?
that?
So everyone comes in, they're like,
Mhm.
huh?
We just felt. And so they were like, we just felt like, needed to just let off some frustration,
Mhm.
some pent up energy, and just scream. Y'all want to scream? And Lydia's like, no, thank you. They're
No.
like, they're like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna scream, and they scream again, and it's like, oh, okay, and everybody's cool. But then it's time for the trophy room. Unless you
Yes.
have anything before the trophy room.
We just had Corey still really pushing this Sydney falling agenda because he got to do anything he can.
Got to get it off of
Um,
him.
and now people are like, is it Corey? Because he is the other person. Not for long. Um, and this is the beginning of Chris's, quite honestly, kind of weird obsession with Sydney. We'll talk about that more later. But yes, trophy room. And the decision is quite boring again, as they all have been, because Sydney and Phil are both just like, hey, Kyle, you can have it. And so Kyle gets the clue. And the clue is that the millionaire completed their agenda and that the agenda was inspired by a famous horror movie.
Again,
Y'all gotta
these
balance this shit
clues.
for season 2. Y'all gotta balance this shit for season 2. I'm so sorry. Y'all got to balance these clues for season 2.
You
No.
are you are not giving
No.
the millionaire a chance.
No. Like,
But see, I I think they know how to do it. We'll talk about it. It's just this was just so blatant and so like okay, because now all we now have to do is list off horror movies,
which they did.
which they did,
Which they did. And they eventually got to Scream. And Sam
and
started
everybody said
laughing maniacally. And everyone realized that it's Phil. And Phil realized that everyone realized that it was
this
Phil.
bill
And then it was awkward.
like it was so weird.
I felt so bad for Phil.
Me too. I was like, this is so stupid. At this point, I'll be like, do I just need to walk away right now? Because this is
Right.
stupid. This is
But
stupid.
not quite yet, Philip.
I mean, there was some other plans happening going on in there because Lydia decided that she wanted to float an idea, a plan, if you will, that we know Philip is the millionaire. Do
Yes.
we need to get rid of the millionaire? Because we could just get rid of Philip next because he'll be the millionaire. Even though they don't
What they
know
don't know.
is his
Yes, he
agenda,
wouldn't.
he will move the money if he stayed.
Yeah.
But they don't know that.
No.
And so they're like, we can get out someone who's strong right now and then get Philip tomorrow because we know he's the millionaire. And so she starts floating Sydney. Now she tells people somebody said it to her and she doesn't want to reveal who said it to her, but she heard this idea about Sydney being the plan because she's strong. Because Sydney admitted earlier in the day that she has been in the trophy room every single time. And so she's
She's won
strong.
4 out of 4 activities. Like,
So she's good and she'll continue to get into the trophy room if we just let her go. And so Lydia's floating the plan. She floats it to Sam, she floats it to Cara, she floats it to Chris, and he's like, "Mm-mm-mm. Nah, 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 I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so because like, nah, I don't think so. I don't think
yeah,
so."
yeah. He's like, great idea, great idea. But right now, like Corey was in such self-preservation mode that he was kind of just like, we know it's Phil. Why
Right.
are we just not taking out Phil? Like that should be the situation we're going with.
But they were nobody but Lydia and Sam, and even Kyle a little bit was looking at the bigger picture of this. Sure, you take out
Yeah,
the millionaire. Yeah, now what? The money moves, and we
yeah,
have to start figuring this out all over again.
yeah. That's the dichotomy of this game, really. And I'm interested, and it's kind of evolving over the episodes that have gone on, is like, what do you want the strategy to be? Do you figure out who the millionaire is and then take them out, or do you figure out who it is, keep them in, keep the money there, keep them as a shield, and take out the more dangerous players? Like, how do you want to play this game?
Mm-hmm.
And I think both strategies are very valid.
Yeah.
I think it depends on how many rounds you've had a specific millionaire.
Right.
Like, if you clock a millionaire in the first round of it, I say get them out. But if you've had a millionaire for a couple of rounds now, as we have with Phil,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you keep Phil around, especially someone like Phil, who did have very, very good social connections up until this point. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
you keep Phil around as someone who can maybe garner some information for you.
Right.
And then, take him out when, when
You're
the
ready
time
for
is
him to
right.
go.
Now, obviously,
Right.
these people didn't know that regardless, the money was going to move.
Right.
So that might have affected the next vote, but it's an interesting strategy for sure. And I'm intrigued to see how this strategy will evolve over future seasons of the show.
Right. And it was interesting because Sam goes right to Philip after she hears the plan from Lydia
Yes.
and tells Philip, like, you might need to take out Sydney
Yep.
and, you know, first save yourself because we know. And Philip would kind of pretty much admitted, like, yeah, we know. He kind of said it to Sam, and it was like,
Yeah. He was like, yeah.
yeah, it is. But she was like, but if we do this and get Sydney out, we know. And Philip in his mind is like, yeah, take Sydney out. That way y'all survive and the money is
Take
away
Sydney
from
out.
me.
I survive. I don't have the money anymore. So.
Right. Mm-mm. So it was a win-win for Philip at that point if the plan went the way that they were talking about. But then we go to the dinner, elimination dinner, and the conversations start. And Philip comes out and makes that very argument that we just made.
Yes.
Like, it makes sense to pick out someone who's strong so you all will have a fighting chance of winning and going into the trophy room instead of the same group of people or the same person always going in there. And he basically calls out Sydney. And then in this moment, well, no, but then so he's like, Sid, I love you, but you have been in the trophy room 4 times. You're
Yeah.
strong. And if we want to play this game where, sure, it's about getting the millionaire out, but if you already know, it eventually only one of us can win. And if the same person is winning everything and they're always safe, like,
Exactly. It was a sound, solid, great
sound.
argument, like perfectly great attempt from Philip. I think he did absolutely everything he could do at this elimination dinner. Like,
Yep.
I don't know what else he could have done, honestly.
Nope. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think it was anything else he could have done. He
Yeah.
just he could only do what he could do, and that's what he could do. And but people in the end, the vote happens, and sadly, they eliminate Philip.
No, fell down.
I hated that.
No.
I mean, even though everybody knew he was the millionaire, I still didn't want him to go.
You know what irked me the absolute most out of anything else at this elimination dinner, Lana?
What was that?
Chris's bitch ass crying and saying, "You're such a good dude, man. You're such a good dude." Bitch, you were
You were
literally out
pushing
here
it.
hours ago going, "Yeah, man, we fucking got it. We fucking got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah." Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Like,
No, I'm
ew,
so sorry.
ew.
That shit is so hypocritical to me. The way that you're gonna celebrate the fact that you got it, that's fine. That's fine and dandy. Don't come out here then and cry over this man. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That shit is hypocritical to me, and it was disrespectful. It was so disrespectful to me. The way that
It's
he
just
treated
ew.
Phil, not in front of Phil, was disrespectful to me.
It was just ill. Like everything about
It was
Chris is
gross. It was
ill
gross.
to me.
I agree.
We got a lot to talk about Chris
Sure
and
do.
ill, and I will be saying ill for a long time for a lot of this conversation that we have with Chris, but we do see, but Chris is not the only one crying. Everybody else is crying. Everybody feels bad. Everybody knew he was the billionaire,
Yeah.
but they still liked him. And that's the difference.
Yeah.
People liked him. And he was well liked by everybody. Nobody wanted to see him go, but the circumstances had to be, they had to get rid of the millionaire. And it happened to be Philip at the time. He was a stand up dude. He was a great guy. Everybody liked him. He went out with such a classy, and I know we went into episode 5 because they left us on a cliffhanger in episode 4, and we went into episode 5 but saying Chris Philip left, but it's okay. um
Yeah.
I didn't really want to waste y'all time and going into episode
Right.
5
It's like it was
talking
another
about
classic
this.
Netflix, whatever. Like
Yeah, we'll go into the episode 5 talking about what start the new
the new millionaire.
situation, right? The new leader. But Phil is out. He's voted out, and he has one of the classiest exits.
Oh,
So sweet.
I started tearing up. I started tearing
That's
up so much. I was just like,
It was so sweet. I think everybody else, not say young per se, but like everybody else went out with some, some words of "you can't do," like "you're gonna regret this" or "you," whatever kind of attitude.
Say
Not say
Young and
young.
Philip for me had, Lauren and Harry. Let's just say it as it is. Lauren and Harry were very much so like, "Nah." And Say Young and Philip were very much so like emotional. This is such a great experience. Like, thank you. You're all great. Like,
Hmm. Wonder what they have in common. Hmm.
beautiful, being beautiful people inside and out, being stunning, being people of character, being people of color, being being quality individuals, being
Hmm.
amongst
Great.
several other adjectives I could use to describe both of them.
Yes. Just wonderful people. But Philip was loved.
Also, I'm so sorry because I realized this after we did our recordings last week. I found out Say Young is an arborist.
Oh, I did
Yeah,
not know that.
yeah. I was like,
Love that.
oh, how fun!
Go
Because she's
ahead
the only
then.
one now that we didn't know her actual career on the show. She's an arborist and she has like she does like tiny house flipping, I think, or like some house situation thing. I followed her on Instagram and her TikTok is linked in her Instagram. So like she's like a
Love.
social media person. Love Saya. Yeah,
Love that.
love Saya.
Love
Yeah.
that for her. Good on you,
Yeah, shout out to
Sam.
Young. She's lovely.
But yeah. But Philip is gone and everybody's sad and crying because Philip's gone and we all miss Philip and we all liked Philip. And even Peter was like, I guess this is a bittersweet moment. And everybody's like, he's such a good dude.
He's such a good guy. And
Such a good
everyone
guy.
else's emotions felt genuine. I'm gonna be real and honest. Everybody else's.
Mhm. I think they always I think everybody's was real and genuine. I just feel like the way Chris just is just everything he does feels a little disingenuous. But I think his emotions were real. I think he did like Philip. I think everybody liked Philip. I just feel like
Yes.
he's playing this game and he was playing it a little weird to me. But
Yeah.
yep. So that is that for episode 4 of Million Dollar Secret. Yeah, 4 of that. And so we'll be
There we
back
go.
to we
Two
will
peace
be back.
signs, because that's four.
Period. And we will be back to talk about episode 5 of The $1 Million Secret very soon. So stick around, check it out. And we thank you for watching. We appreciate you spending your time with us. If you want, and I know you do, because you just do, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate you. Subscribe to this channel, subscribe to all of our other channels. All the links will be in the description below, as well as our audio podcast links, our Patreon, all of our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. And you can follow Logan and myself.
Thanks.
You can follow Logan and myself on those same platforms as well. And you can also get your merch at lanagscreations.etsy.com. That link will be also be in the description below. Things might be a changing soon, so check it out. And
Ooh.
that's gonna be it for that. So we're gonna go. Have a great night, and we'll see you later. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Bye.